Welcome to more World of Warplanes content from the Noble Queue, and in this episode of Notes from the Control Tower, my occasional series covering non-flying topics in World of Warplanes, amongst other things, we'll be talking about the bundles in the shop for October, and I'll also give you a tip about using flaps. Hello there, and before I start talking about what's available in the shop this month, all of you who are busy grinding through the chain of combat missions for the Antonov M Masher, I hope things are progressing well for you and that you're not getting too frustrated. Best of luck, everybody. So let's turn our attention to the shop. And the first thing that I want to draw your attention to is this beastly camo bundle. We'll go into this in a moment, but I just want to explain quickly that this is a bundle of 10 camouflages for various aircraft in the game. And I approve. This is the kind of thing I think the World of Warplanes team should be concentrating on selling and not trying to put potentially overpowered premium aircraft into the game. Each of the camos is available individually. Obviously, it'll be cheaper if you buy them per camo in a bundle of 10, but if you only want one or two of them, you have the option to buy them in these bundles here. However, there's a problem. And if we go into this bundle, we can see that the text says, "These decorations will help you dress up your aircraft in style as well as boost bonus characteristics. Aircraft experience 5% and crew experience 20%. Now, I'm an English speaker, and if I came directly to this bundle, and I'll show you where it explains what this actually means in a moment, I would certainly think that that means that the camouflages offer both these bonuses. Be warned, that's not the case, and let me explain. So what I've done now is I've switched to the news article announcing the availability of this bundle. And here's the explanation here. I'll read it out. "These unique decorations will help you dress up your aircraft in style, as well as boost bonus characteristics." Well, that sounds a bit similar to what's been said in the shop bundle. However, it then goes on slightly differently. "The paint scheme for the Lavochkin LA-11, aircraft experience 5%, all the other paint schemes, crew experience 20%. Now, I can't be sure, but I think that text read the same as the shop bundle when this was published on the 1st of October. And there are some people who've already been caught out by this. If we look here, my good friend Gonner NL states in his forum post here, "I got the Boomerang camo and it only gives 20% crew, no 5% plane experience." He clearly thought he'd get both. Well, I think the news article has been updated correctly. Be careful. The shop bundle text is still wrong and is still misleading in my opinion. And I happen to have all these camouflages, and I can tell you it is exactly as it says in the news text here, where the 5% experience applies to the Lavochkin LA-11, and for the other camouflages you'll get 20% crew experience. Bit of a shame, probably a mistranslation from the Russian on the shop bundle, but try not to get caught out. So let's wrap up talking about the bundles themselves before I go on to an interesting point about one of the camouflages. That will come up in a moment. What else do you get in the beastly camo bundle? This is the one for 10 aircraft. Well, you get 10,000 gold. Now, be careful. If you have some of these camouflages already, there will be no compensation. They are treated as bonus items in this bundle. You're already buying the gold. And when you buy the gold, you get these as bonus items. And what that means in this particular case is that if you, for instance, have the camouflage of the Messerschmitt Me-209V4, you will get no compensation for it. If we just look at one of the other bundles, let's go and look at the one for the Douglas A26B Invader. If you buy a single camouflage, then what you're doing is buying 1,000 gold and getting this camouflage as a bonus. So that's all I want to say about this particular set of bundles. Let's move on. Talking of camouflages, I think I've found an interesting wrinkle in the game. This is one of the camouflages that is actually on sale. It's for the RB-17, the Tier 8 Premium Soviet Bomber. It's another one of these animal print camouflages, and I know quite a few of you really like these. I can take them or leave them personally. This doesn't really do it for me, but each to their own. But I did notice something about this. Now, in theory, as it says on the news text item, this should offer 20% crew experience. Well, I had a few games in this aircraft, and I decided to calculate and check that the correct amount of experience was being awarded. Well, it isn't, and I'll explain why. So here's what I found. This spreadsheet represents the outcome of the battle and the calculation of experience. Don't worry, I'm not going to take you through it in vast detail. Just draw your attention to my calculation here. I thought that the pilot would get 18,523 experience from this particular battle that's summarised here, and my gunner would get 12,410. And in fact, the battle gave me 19,563 and 13,106, and this was a reliable error over 3 or 4 battles. So I sat down and I worked it all out. Well, the first thing that I worked out was that the mission bonus, 1.5 times crew experience for finishing in the top 3, actually applies to both the earned experience and the premium plane bonus, which is a bit of a surprise, but there it is. That's nice. But I was still falling short. You can see that I put in the special camouflage bonus. There it is. Yes, 20% for the animal print on the RB17. It wasn't until I experimented with putting it in on the aircraft experience as well, and some camouflages, as you know, give aircraft experience, that finally my figures came very close. Now, the difference between these figures can be explained by rounding. The base experience was 1,722 as displayed in the UI. That actually is probably 1,721.7.8, something like that, hence the rounding errors. And I'm pretty convinced I'm right about this. The animal print camouflage for the RB17 is bugged, and it's bugged in your favour. Hurrah! It appears, at least when you have Accelerate Crew Training ticked, to be offering you not only 20% crew experience, which is stated in the news article, but an extra 20% on aircraft experience as well. So that's rather nice to have, and that makes the RB17 with this camouflage a very nice crew trainer indeed. So what else is available in the shop during the month of October? And here we are, October deals. A big materials bundle appears first, and for around about £25, probably a little bit less, but something like that, €27.43, you can buy some materials. 200 mechanical parts, 200 airframe parts, 100 weapon parts, 100 flight instruments. I'm always personally very short of those, but I know that other people are always short of other types of parts. A miserly 50 heat-resistant parts and 25 radio electronics. I think this is pretty poor value, even with the bonus of 2,000 gold. Personally, I think you'd be better off just trying to play for wins in the game and earning materials that way. And there are resources that explain how likely you are to get materials, and that'll probably be featured in a future episode of Notes from the Control Tower. Watch out for that. There's another materials bundle, cheaper, therefore for fewer parts and only 1,000 gold. There's the same comment I've made about the bigger bundle applies. And then we have steel crates, 3, 5, 10, 20, 30. We also have some small supply bundles featuring a single unique supply crate and ordinary supply crates. Then 4 unique supply crates as well, and then 8 unique supplies and 6 supply crates. So you're being invited to spend your money on basically loot crates, and you may get lucky. In fact, I was in theory quite lucky with the Antonov M5. I got 5 of the steel supply crates, and 5 aircraft would have dropped out of each of those. Well, sorry, 1 aircraft would have dropped out of each of those crates. That's 5 aircraft in total, and 2 of them were Tier 8s. And of course, I got compensated with gold, which actually I didn't need. A bit unfortunate for me. Your mileage may vary. If you buy these, caveat emptor, you may get nothing but stuff that is very unexciting and uninspiring. And I really cannot recommend you that you buy loot boxes. And as I've explained on stream during the week, I have actually put a complaint into PEGI, the ratings agency for Europe. I don't think a game that's rated at PEGI 7, that is available for and intended for children to play, should be selling bundles like these loot boxes. Good luck if you do purchase them. So I'm aiming to keep these Notes from the Control Tower videos to around about 10 minutes. So this is going to be the final topic for this particular episode, and it's about flaps. And this is strictly for players who are new to the game, or at least newer to the game, and never have thought about control of flaps. Now, for your Tier 1 aircraft, most of your Tier 2s, but not all of them, I should warn you, you don't have to think about flaps because there aren't any on the aircraft. And indeed, there are some higher tier aircraft that don't have flaps. The Soviet fighter at Tier 4, the I-17 comes to mind, for instance. But it is definitely the case that you will want to take manual control of your flaps as soon as possible. How do you do that? Go into the cogwheel, take the settings button. You should default to the controls tab, but this is the one that you need to be on just in case you're on something else, and go into advanced settings. And if you haven't taken control of your flaps, you will see that this entry here is ticked. Untick it, but that's not the end of the story. Of course, you now need to set up manual control of the flaps. Do you do that? Well, in this section here, control settings, and then the flight subsection, make sure that you assign a key here for extend flaps. And you can even make it a left mouse button if you wish. Well, that makes no sense. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to keep my current setting for E. The point is, flaps will now only be deployed if you press the key that you assign to extend flaps. Why is this a good idea? Well, flaps bleed speed, and not every turn is one where you want to bleed speed. You want to keep speed up, for instance, on a BF109B perhaps. You don't want to lose speed because as you turn, the flaps are being automatically applied by the game. Take control of it. It will improve your control of your aircraft and therefore improve your game. And that's it for this episode of Notes from the Control tab. I hope you found it informative and useful, and that you'll come back and see future episodes. But until then, this is the Noble Q signing out.